Hello, welcome back to my haunted library. It's Regina, and welcome back to another Slow Burn Sunday. It's been a while since I've done one, but today, every day feels like Sunday now, so I thought, why not? So the movie that I chose for today's Slow Burn Sunday is Asylum. This movie came out in 1972, and I admit that I saw it for the first time in the movie theater when I was just a wee child. Much too young to be seeing a horror movie like this, but I remember my older sister dragging me along to see a matinee at the County Theater in Doylestown. And I never forgot it. It scarred me in the best possible way and kind of is one of the reasons why I'm the horror fan that I am, because I love being scared. And this film has some really, really scary things in it. Of course, now I'm watching it and I'm kind of laughing, but it has great suspense. Now, Amicus was a British film company that released a lot of these anthology type of films. So this one, and I have not seen all of them, but I really do want to watch all of them because I love Asylum, and I'm sure the rest are really good. But this one has kind of a brilliant framing device, which is a mental hospital for the incurably insane, and a young doctor who's filled with all kinds of new ideas about how the mentally ill people should be treated, arrives for a job interview. So the head of the hospital, who's in the wheelchair, wants to make sure that this doctor is up to snuff. So he's going to test him because the head doctor of the hospital had a complete mental breakdown, and now he's one of the patients. So the new doctor, the young guy, and he's kind of cute. He wears like a really nice natty suit. So he has to interview each of the patients and then determine which one is the doctor. So that's the framing device, and it's really brilliant. So there's this whole part in the beginning of the film where, and there will be spoilers in this review. So at the beginning of the film, there's this very interesting sequence that I don't think you would ever see in a film today because it wouldn't take this much time, where he's looking at these old etchings of how mentally ill people had once been treated. And it's pretty horrifying. Once he enters, he goes from the office upstairs, he's kind of entering a different world. And those etchings, those old pictures really kind of establish this. Now he's in a new territory. So each one of these patients tells a story, and each one is its own like miniature film. So the first one is called Frozen Fear, where Bonnie, played by the gorgeous Barbara Parkins, recounts the plot to murder Ruth, the wealthy wife of her lover Walter. Ruth is a possessive heiress who studies voodoo. I love the occult elements in these movies from this time. And I think, maybe I should really blame my sister for this, but I really feel like this movie got me into the occult. But of course, the occult was really big when I was a child, in the late 60s, early 70s. It was very much part of literature with Rosemary's Baby, and even the movie of the week always had some kind of occult theme, and I just loved it. This results in horrific repercussions after Ruth's dead body has been dismembered and wrapped in individual parcels. Okay, so when I was a little kid and I saw this movie, like I said, there'll be spoilers, so just giving this away. The husband chops up the wife, wraps her body parts very carefully in brown paper and string. So she has this voodoo bracelet that's going to be part of her revenge. It's like a spell, a protection spell to get her retribution on her husband doing this to her. So the pieces come to life. And in this scene, I remember this so vividly and how horrified I was, wonderfully so. When the husband he hears these noises, and when he opens the deep freeze, this hand shoots up wrapped in the paper, pulls him down. It's genius. And then when Barbara Parkins shows up, darling, are you here? The pieces, she goes to the basement, and the pieces start coming after her. The best one, and it is used in the poster, is so memorable, is the plastic wrapped head sucking in the breath coming after her. The brain is controlling all the parts. They're coming from everywhere. It's really, really scary. All right, so the next one is called The Weird Tailor, and that stars Peter Cushing. So in this story, there actually is a real occult reference to a wearing this reflective suit or this special fabric. It was actually in one of my occult books. I forget which one, as like a real practice. So I thought that was interesting. So the Weird Tailor, this one's definitely weird, and Peter Cushing is great. Bruno recounts how poverty and impending eviction forced him to accept the unusual request of a Mr. Smith to produce an elaborate suit of clothing from a mysterious, scintillating fabric that must be sewn only after midnight. So Bruno is a tailor. After learning that the suit will be used for, it will reanimate Mr. Smith's deceased son, and that Mr. Smith has no money to pay the tailor, Bruno fights Smith and accidentally kills him. He returns with the unsold suit. His wife, Anna, uses the suit to adorn the store mannequin, which is this very, like, 70s era looking mannequin. I remember these mannequins with the mustache. And its true powers are revealed when the mannequin comes to life. It almost has like a monkey's paw kind of feel to it. Definitely creepy. That one was a lot of fun. Not as scary as the first one, but definitely creepy. All right, this one was fun. Lucy comes to stay. The ebullient Barbara informs Martin she has been in the asylum before. After her release from that facility, she is closely monitored at home by her brother George and a nurse, Miss Higgins. This frustrated existence is relieved when her mischievous friend, Lucy, comes to visit. So again, gorgeous women and actresses in this movie. Charlotte Rampling plays Barbara, and Britt Eklund plays Lucy. And I love their clothes, their hairstyles. Britt Eklund is just like so stunning. I mean, they all are. And it kind of gets into the evil twin theme or the imaginary friend. It's great. It's a great little short film. And if you are a short story writer or a short film maker, you would really learn a lot from watching these. I mean, they're kind of like Twilight Zone episodes. Again, those are very wonderful and really informative. How to shape like a short story, where they all follow this 3-act structure with an incredible payoff. So definitely worth checking out. And I guess, have there been new horror anthologies? I'm sure there have been, but if anyone knows of any new ones, let me know in the comments below, because I'm very curious if this is still a thing. All right, the next one. Another very creepy one. Mannequins of Horror. Martin interviews Dr. Byron, who holds Rutherford in contempt. Byron explains he is working toward soul transference with a small automaton whose head is a likeness of his own, showing Martin several earlier models. Byron plans to will his mannequin to life. He explains the interior of the robot is organic, a miniaturized version of his own viscera. Martin concludes his interview, and Max shows him downstairs to deliver his judgment to Rutherford. So, of course, he chooses Dr. Byron as the doctor. But the twist comes at the end when Byron successfully brings his mannequin to life. It makes its way to Rutherford's office and kills him with a scalpel. In a really gross scene, and I remember this grossed me out when I was a kid, when he steps on it, it does have like guts inside of it and very realistic and gross, which results in the death of Dr. Byron. Dr. Starr's true identity is revealed. It is Max Reynolds, who has murdered the real Reynolds 2 days before. He then strangles Martin to death. Sometime later, a new candidate for the job arrives and is met by Dr. Starr, who escorts him into the asylum. So it, again, goes full circle, and we have fresh patients coming into the asylum. It's a really great twist, and I did not remember it from when I watched it as a kid, so it was kind of like I got to experience that twist all over again. So I really loved Asylum. I thought it was great, and it still holds up after all these years. So let's hear what Matilda has to say. What did you think of Asylum? Like, what was your favorite story in anthology. Well, I thought it was amazing all around, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be the one with Brett Eklund's character as the evil alter ego. Yeah, I bet. All right, well, that's all we have for today. Thanks for stopping by our haunted library, and we'll see you next time. Bye!